Spring is an excellent time of the year to start putting a lot of trees into our landscape. Trees are going to add shade, they add property value, but they're the type of plant that once you get them into place, you're going to want to leave them there. It's not like rearranging the furniture. So go ahead and make sure that the spot that you've chosen for your special tree is a location where that tree has room to grow. Remember, when you bring them home, they're going to be just like a puppy. They're going to be small, they're going to be adorable, and they're going to fit in that space just perfectly. But over the years, they're going to get really, really large. So make sure you take a couple of steps ahead of time before putting your tree into your landscape, and that way it has room to grow and you're happy with the results. Check to see whether you have the right conditions, whether or not you have full sun or a little bit of shade. Make sure that you're planting the tree away from power lines and not near any type of structures that it will eventually rub against, like your house or sheds. Then you want to make sure that you call your utility company and have them come out to flag any of the utility lines so you're not digging a hole and accidentally cutting through some power or some water or some gas lines, because we're going to be looking at planting depth and it will get down pretty deep when we start digging these holes. After you've decided that you have the right location for your tree, go to the nursery and check out a couple of your favorite plants. Picking a tree is a lot like trying to choose what sort of clothing you like to wear. It's personal. It's something that will please you. So take a look and ask yourself if you want something that flowers, if you want a little bit of fruit off of it, if you don't mind a little bit of cleanup in the fall from leaves or from seed pods that fall off. Then make sure that you're looking at the overall size of the tree once it gets mature enough so that you know you're sticking it into the right place.
This one we'll look at today is in a number 15 container. You're going to have to determine where the structural roots are that we can determine then the proper planting depth. Sometimes it's very easy to see that within a plant if it's a balled and burlapped or a container tree. But a lot of times there's going to be soil up above that structural root that you're going to have to then take a probing, like a needle or so forth, to probe down to see where that structural roots are. The reason you're doing that is that you're going to then be able to plant it at the proper depth, which is critical. Now with container grown plants like the one we have here, we'll want to plant it just about at soil grade or about an inch or so above grade, versus if you had other plants that were balled and burlapped or tree spaded trees, they probably would have to be a little further above grade, maybe 2 to 4 inches, depending on the type of soil you have. If it's a heavy clay soil that you're planting in, then it should be a little greater height above, 2 to 4 inches, versus if it's a sandy, probably just about 2 inches or so above grade. You want to make sure that you put this tree on firm soil, and we want to have a wide hole versus just a very narrow, deep hole. The reason for this is that most of the roots are going to be in the top portion of that container, and therefore they're going to go out into that top 12 inches, which you're going to have with that saucer-shaped hole. The other thing we want to make sure is if it's a container-grown plant, if it's been in that container for any length of time, before putting it into the hole on firm soil, we will want to make sure there aren't any crossing or girdling roots. And if that's the case, then you would want to cut those roots prior to putting it into the planting hole. Once you got it ready to do that, then we'll place the plant in the hole. Now, assuming that it's a container-grown plant, we'll want to measure that to make sure that that is just about at grade or an inch above grade. Once that's done and the plant is in the planting hole, we will start to backfill. Then we could add some mulch, and we would add mulch up to, again, at that whole width of that planting hole.